2% rates that the banks are cutting deposits down to. So, if you guys don't know, essentially, China just has very similar functionalities of the Federal Reserve, where they cut interest rates depending on market conditions. They print money depending on market conditions. They, raise interest rates depending on market conditions. China, over the last multiple decades, as you can see, though, in terms of their money printer, they like to go burr. Now, why is this bullish for Bitcoin and crypto? Well, every time China slashed rates this low, which the only other times were two other times, and that was in 2008 and 2020, the Federal Reserve followed as well. Now, it's not necessarily because they were directly correlated. It was because of what was happening on a macro environmental scale. So, of course, the collapse of banks due to the CDOs and everything in 2008 led China to cutting their rates. And then in 2020, with COVID-19, led China to cutting the rates. And then now, of course, with the trade wars, we're seeing something very similar. Why it matters. In 2008 and 2020, China led rate cuts as global growth collapsed. US followed with rate cuts and quantitative easing, which is money printing, and Bitcoin exploded after both post 08 Genesis and post 20 all-time highs. Now, what I want to point out here, okay, because the key thing is this right here. It's the plus the QE. So the US followed with Federal Reserve cuts plus QE. And I feel like a lot of people forget that just because the feds are ending quantitative tightening, it means they're going to money print. It does not. They simply can start cutting interest rates, and they can do so for 2 years. They could do so for 3 years. If they just cut by 25 basis points once every quarter, there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different times, a lot of different,